Hey folks, make sure to visit our friends at the Park Theatre on January 19th for the Stranger Things 80s Party. Stranger Things reinvigorated everyone's love for 80s horror movies, and to celebrate Season 2, the park is throwing a Stranger Things party, dedicated to the best era for the genre. They'll be playing 80s music all night and are dressing to look the part. Come party as your favorite 80s villain or hero, and dance the night away to the best 80s jams there are. Again, that's Friday, January 19th at the Park Theatre, doors at 10 p.m, and early bird tickets are only $5.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
We are the Witchpolice, 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 we are the Witchpolice.
Okay, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I am your regular host, Sam. Co-host Ryan is back for the first time in a while, I think.
Yeah,
It's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
You guys are just a couple of podcasts, aren't you?
Yeah, we are
Podcasts,
a
yes,
couple
yes,
podcasts,
yes,
yeah.
You guys are waiting for that, eh? Waiting to pull that out.
Ever since about 2.5 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yes, well planned ahead.
Hip
Yeah.
guys with
Yeah.
beards, podcasts,
Yeah.
smoking jazz cabbage.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are here with three-fifths?
Yes.
3/5 of Gold Mountain. And people who are really super good listeners to the show might remember, I don't know, 3-4 years ago.
Fuck, was it
It
that
was a long time ago. It was, yeah, I think it was 2015 at the latest that you guys were on the show, but it's a bit different. Things have changed, obviously. I mean, that was, with any band, things are going to change in that time period, but things have changed pretty drastically for you guys in terms of very different lineup. You kind of came back after a while, but before we get into any of that, let's just go around the table. Everyone introduce themselves, the instrument they play, and then listeners can put a name to the voice. So we'll start with you.
I'm Chris. I'm the singer.
I'm Lindsay. I'm playing guitar.
I'm Tabitha. I play keyboards.
Cool. And who are you missing now? Who rounds out the current lineup?
We don't have Sean, who is our drummer, and we don't have Ian, who is our bass player.
Okay. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, when you were on before, it was a 4-piece, is that right?
Yes.
And a couple of those people are no longer in the band? Mm-hmm. So what's happened since then?
So I think, actually, funnily enough, not too long, and I don't know if this is your fault somehow. But
Probably. I'll take the blame.
Not too long after we did the thing with you, we sort of went into a bit of a hibernation. And came back a little different, and then we lost a couple members, and we had a lineup change. I know for Marty, it was a question of he just couldn't find time in his schedule.
I
He was
don't know
in a
how
lot
he
of
finds
bands,
time
right?
in his
He's
schedule to
in-
do half the
Anything.
things.
It's crazy
Yeah.
how much
Yeah.
he has on his plate.
Yeah.
When I think about it, I take a nap. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Just immediately.
Yeah.
You get him, yeah.
And then Dave, I think that he was just going down a more career-oriented path and whatever and that kind of thing. And so it's just like growing pains, people
Right.
going down different roads. But especially, like, there's no hard feelings, there's no big blow-ups, especially in Marty's case and whatever. He's still, like, we're all still friends, and I think we're probably going to end up working with him in some capacity, I hope, in the near future type of thing.
Cool.
So, yeah. Yeah, so we got into a couple of new members. We finally got that bass player we were always in the market for and whatever. It seemed like a very long process just getting a bass player. And,
Isn't he in like 30 bands too?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
And it's really funny last time you guys played to watch Ian play with you guys because you're such a high energy actor. Ian is always stuck in that kind of reggae ska dance mode when he's playing bass. His groove is always to one certain thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he put in enough time doing that, right? It makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just
It was definitely.
He's got that sway.
Yeah.
Back and forth. Dips and bobs.
So how long was it between the kind of first version of it slowing down and then this new version coming up?
Oh, God. Was it like a year that we were down type of thing? Is that long?
Something close to a year. Well, we spent definitely a year kind of rebuilding once we found our new rhythm section.
Yeah.
It took a while, and we had a change of jam space as well, which set us back
We had a couple
little
of
bit.
changes of jam
A couple
spaces.
changes of jam spaces.
And I think there was also a big part of it was that after the release of the EP that we did, I think that there was, I don't want to speak for everybody, but for me, there was something somewhat unsatisfactory about the way that EP turned out, and it has nothing to do with the production. JP did an amazing job with herding cats like us being as, disorganized, crazy as we are. But we have one song on that record that we went in to record and we hadn't finished writing it yet.
Okay.
And So when it came out, it was like, it sounds great. Everyone played their asses off on it and whatever. But I felt like we were starting to spin our wheels a little bit creatively. So we came to a decision that we were going to sort of fix our problems creatively, type of deal, and that led to the sort of the reshuffling of the lineup. And when we got new members, we also discarded a big chunk of songs.
Okay.
You know, so that took time to sort of re-up ourselves and like rewrite, you know, a whole new set list and that kind of thing, whatever it was. So, what was the question? You said...
No, there was a question before, but you've kind of gone off on other tangents, so it's okay. That was answered more than the question. But, I mean, the two of you have been...
The question was, what's my birthday?
Right.
Well, it's none of your business.
Right.
1975.
Yeah.
So the two of you have been the constant, though, right? I mean, among the two different lineups, you're the only ones who are the same throughout?
So, yeah, it would appear
So,
Yes.
is that... I mean, is there a reason for that? I mean, are you two kind of interested for songwriting? Are you both sort of locked into the... Are you the engine of the band, or what? I mean, why did the two of you stay when everything else changed?
Nothing better to do.
Nothing else going on, really.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I have so much respect for Chris's songwriting ability. And,
That's nice.
Yeah, I really like being a part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, likewise for Tab, she's one of the best musicians from a technical standpoint that I know, and who is willing to, like, you know, waste time playing my silly little jams, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it would be, it's just sort of the way it worked out.
Have things changed sonically a lot since you've changed the lineup? I mean, I know it's still your silly little jams, as you say, but I mean, has the overall sound changed just by bringing new people in and kind of seeing what they bring to the table?
Yeah.
And then how? Is the follow-up question, how has it changed?
So the year was 1975. Yeah, it's changed for sure. It's fuller, it's bigger, it's more like the whole reason that we stopped playing for a little while, just as we were kind of like about to sort of like, you know, come fully fledged into the world. Lindsay's girlfriend is home. Everyone be quiet. Maybe she won't see us.
Maybe their vision is based on movement.
And there's no way. There's no way I'll remember to edit this out either. So it's.
Now, do you want to come sit down and join us?
That's a no.
Yeah.
For everyone that couldn't see that hand motion, it was a no.
Which is everyone because it's not.
Because this is the internet.
Yeah.
Like she was just talking to us in the room right now. What was the question again?
I
Sorry.
don't remember anymore. It's,
How has the sound changed?
Yes, thank you. How has it changed?
Okay. Yeah, we have it's a fuller lineup, and we have a solid rhythm section because now we've got a bass player, and Ian's not just any bass player; he's really good.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah,
he's a good player, and him and Sean, and then Lindsay is the new guy in the group, and he came in with his chops, and he's got a very different vibe, I would say, than Marty. How would you describe your playing, Lindsay?
Oh, I don't know.
And what year were you born?
I don't know how I've changed things because I wasn't in the band before, right?
Yeah.
Great.
I only know this version.
Yeah, I only.
Okay,
know
well,
this.
maybe a better question then is like, how familiar were you with their stuff before you joined? Had you seen them a lot?
I'd seen them play a couple times, and
Okay.
I'd obviously listened to the EP online.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Like I wasn't super familiar. I knew that they were really good. I don't know. I don't know. I feel stumped here. You know, I don't know how it changed. How have I changed things, Tabitha?
I would say that you literally physically bring a giant sonic palette with you. You have a pedal board that weighs about as much as I do.
I think that was the thing when we saw that giant pedal board. There's equal amounts of like kind of like oh, this could be cool, and also like oh god.
Oh boy, it's a 50-50 chance at this point.
It really could have.
But I think you really kind of have a good ear for tone, and you're really versatile in terms of. We are a band that does not necessarily play one style of music, and you have an ability to be kind of versatile with the sound that's coming out of your guitar, which is super cool.
Which is interesting.
Which is super cool.
Most people know you as being a punk band too, right? I mean, like the last time you were on the show was with Bad Pants.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what. So it's very different, obviously.
It is very different. It's challenging because I have not written or played in a band quite like this before. I was looking for something like this. I was looking for something more along those indie lines or whatever you want to call it. Something that's more like more out of my wheelhouse. Okay. You know, because I'd find that enjoyable, challenging myself by playing stuff that I'm really not familiar with.
Go to your comfort zone kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
cool.
and buy more pedals to make.
Right. Right.
You just want an excuse to buy more pedals.
Totally.
It really is.
He walks into the store and is
I
like,
do have a problem.
I'm in this band called Gold Mountain, so all of the pedals, please.
Well, how many pedals
What does this one do? I don't know, but I want it.
I don't know, but I want
that to
it.
you?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah, Lindsay, I know you, dude. We just jammed last night.
Yeah. I did do that. I did do that
You
to
definitely
Tabitha.
did do that.
I did do that to Tabitha one day at work. I made her bring up all the pedals.
All the Earthquaker
All
pedals.
of it, yeah, every pedal.
Yeah. Well, I've not been paid by Earthquaker to say that.
Yeah.
Those are just the ones that he wanted to look at.
Yeah.
If they want to pay, they
Those
can.
are-
Yeah, exactly. You know where to find me, Earthquaker pedals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I like that brand of pedal. It's
You gotta get off this stuff.
Oh man. Just to reiterate, Earthquake pedals, the finest pedals you can get.
If you want to contact us for
You can send the checks to Witchpolice.
Yeah.
We'd also take this moment to endorse Loot Crate products. Harry Shavers.
I think we're the only podcast that doesn't do it.
Yeah. What are some other
MeUndies.
MeUndies.
antimicrobial t-shirts?
He'd say, I'm glad to say that I am, for the ocean suffers only the brave and the mighty full of grace. Well, they say that his last words were for his fair and dark-haired girl. Most Friday nights he was out picking fights until she first walked into his life. Let's have one final pour for old Tom Moore. You won't be seeing him around no more. Late last night he was swept away as his boat was dragged beneath the waves. So tell all the saints to ring their bells and tell the Lord he's gotta treat him well. Oh, he never did take to life on land. Old Tom was born a fisherman, yes he was. My dearest Laura Bell, won't you keep my memory well? And oh, although my body dies, I am always here at your side. For I am a fisherman. I am now as I was then. And so my friends and my fair young bride, I bid you all one last long goodbye. You'll have one final pour for old Tom Moore. You know that he would, and that's for sure. When the storm rose up, he was swept away, and his boat was dragged beneath the waves. So tell all the saints to ring their bells and tell the Lord he's gotta treat him well. Oh, he never did take to life on land. Old Tom was born a fisherman, yes he was. Old Tom was born a fisherman, yes he was. Old Tom was born a fisherman, yes he was.
I know I hate this question, I hate asking it, but how do you define it? If you had to slap a genre on it, I know you just said there's multiple genres, but if someone says, hey, you're in a band, what kind of music do you play? And you want to just distill it to the most simple, basic thing, what do you call it?
Who wants to go?
I would be interested to hear all three of you.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to go through your answers.
Everybody, I think, would have a different response.
What
to
if
that.
two of us leave the room, one person answers, and then we bring one
So
person
it's
answer?
like
And then we try and guess what they said.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
literally like a game. Yeah.
Is that that match game thing or
Yeah,
whatever?
It's in the booth with the headphones on. Yeah. We don't have the technology for that.
We don't have ear things, earmuffs. Okay.
Blindfolds, I don't know what you need.
You need those texts from Earthquake and Pedals to
Good
come in
Lord.
so you can buy that. Yeah.
Exactly.
What kind of podcast is this? I'll go. No, wait, I don't want to go. You go.
He's pointing at me. Nobody could see that,
No,
but
no.
I would say generally I say rock and roll. Just
Which is
'cause
super
Which is
vague.
a blanket term, and I feel like it's
That's
kind of a
as vague
bad
as humanly
word.
possible.
That was the answer
And-
I would give as well.
Rock
And it's
roll.
definitely like it has become kind of a bad word, and a lot of bands that I feel are rock bands are kind of they're calling themselves punk or calling
Right.
themselves indie or something like that because rock has been associated with this radio friendly, like the late Power 97 sort of.
That's sort of our most
genre.
recent incarnation of what you would call rock and roll. for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. So but I still feel like we're a rock and roll band, and just because we have keyboards or just because we have some
Pedals.
different kind of pedals and effects, it doesn't make us not
Yeah.
that
Who were the
per
pedals
se.
by? I forgot.
Earthquake pedals,
Earthquaker.
the finest pedals.
You didn't even buy it.
Can't afford
Wait,
that.
don't fucking say that on the pod. He bought lots of them. Jesus, you're gonna lose our sponsorship. Witchpolice is going under. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Our budget of 0 is going to more.
Yeah. I'll say I agree. I think that if you call us rock music, then it's a little bit more informed by like elements of classic rock, and we're a little bit more roots oriented and stuff.
Okay.
We like I like the whatever. I don't want to say. I'm trying not to say.
Chris, tell us.
I'm trying not to say classic rock because we're not classic rock.
Well, classic rock people are going to assume is like Zeppelin. And,
Exactly.
I mean, nothing wrong with Zeppelin, but.
But I can understand where you're coming from, like the storytelling elements that aren't necessarily there in what people consider modern day rock and roll to be. I find in you guys for real, like.
Yeah, and then lyrically, I'm heavily influenced by like people like folk storytellers like Leonard Cohen and Bob Dylan. I'm nowhere near that level of expertise, and nor do I think we sound anything like those people. But in terms of like having a little bit, slightly purple lyrics, purple language in the lyrics, being a little, florid in your
A little more
description
flowery
of
than-
things.
yeah.
That type of-
Florid?
Florid. What does florid mean again?
I was going to say flowery.
Well,
Flowery is
flowery.
better.
Yeah. I think they mean sort of the similar thing. But
Do they?
Yeah.
Floral?
Floral?
Floral.
Florist?
We're a very floral band. We're super.
It's a large group of florists.
We're all aspiring florists.
Yeah, there you go.
We're
Is there a band called The Florists?
Purple florists.
The Purple Florists. Earthquake pedals.
I don't think it was Earthquake at all.
No, so. Okay, so
Lindsay.
floral classic rock with purple folk overtones.
Band of florists.
Yeah.
We're a band of florists.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and as the new guy, how do you perceive it? What did you think it was when you first heard them? I guess.
When I first
That's an
heard them,
interesting
like,
question.
okay, so probably the first song that would connect would be probably "Baby" off the EP.
That's my favorite song.
It sounded like an '80s movie soundtrack to me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Depending on the movie, that could go
Yeah.
compliment or.
it sounded like indie. I wouldn't like. Me personally, when I hear rock and roll, I think much more like AC/DC type stuff. And so like, I would call it like indie rock to me personally.
How dare you?
I know.
That's become a very dirty word too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
No, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think because all of those terms, everything that you've said here, aside from maybe the florid stuff, is just like extremely.
Has been grammatically correct.
Aside from all the things that aren't words.
And everything else has been like very, very.
What does florid mean?
They're just umbrella genres, though, right? I mean, I think that what's happening is people maybe who play rock and roll, like you were saying a few minutes ago, they don't want to call it rock and roll. They want to like pinhole it into some kind of like
Subgenre.
post something core, this, that, whatever, and.
Yeah.
It is rock and roll, but it's just you're trying too hard to fit it into some kind of weird thing. So rock and roll makes sense. It's just and indie rock and classic rock, but
Yeah,
I think there's like a
elements
nebulous.
I think there's elements of all of that in there. We like playing different kinds of music.
And
stuff.
the genre isn't like it jumps around a bit, like
Yeah.
like there's a song called rock and roll that sounds really rock and roll, and then there's a song that sounds kind of bluesy. That's newer, and then there's that like Baby sounds like something.
It's sort of synth pop.
Yeah, it's synth pop. Yeah.
Is that song called Rock and Roll? I've been.
It says rock and roll on the set list.
No, I've been calling it R&R, and I've been operating under the
rest
thing
and
that
relaxation?
it stands for rest and relaxation.
Oh, really? Oh no, I thought everybody just called it the rock and roll song.
That's just because we never came up with a good title for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, isn't R&R on its own just a good enough title? Do you need to?
Yeah.
Do you need to flesh it out anymore? Can it
No.
just be,
Yeah,
Because it's both that
somebody
way.
else to
Yeah.
figure out. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Can mean a lot of things.
I don't know why I said that's
Sure.
what I do. That's not what I
You
fucking
abandoned?
do.
You-
I've literally
Ryan's been in
never
band
done
for a
that.
while now.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just write letters on things and walk away.
R&R?
Fix some fucking
I think that's called
figure it out.
graffiti.
Yeah.
No.
So if you see R&R written
this
around
is
the
different R&R.
I think it's only
Yeah.
graffiti if you get caught. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I'm spreading the word, man.
spread the word of
The
R&R.
word in R&R. Yeah. Yeah. So, you'll see it.
All right.
Oh God.
Look around for some
Yeah.
R&R. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did the EP come out? The old EP. When was that actually? How long ago has that been?
Would have been.
Good. Let's get into this. I got a lot of things to say.
Well, then you start asking
Okay,
me
well,
questions.
Jesus
I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
Well, just when did it come out? Let's start with that. We'll just lay the groundwork here.
God, what's about to happen?
I'm not sure it is.
I don't know. It came out like a week after we did the thing. So if you say 2015,
Yeah, I
think
feel like it was
it was
December of 2015.
I know it was
December was the
of
last-
some year because you gave it to me as a Christmas gift.
Oh,
Yes, it was wrapped in a little bow.
Oh, jeez,
Yeah.
Louise.
Yeah.
And I remember putting it in. I remember thinking, you guys might not be so stoked on it, but I remember thinking, cause I've been around people playing music for a long time, and whether it be DJs or punk rock or something. But I remember thinking, holy shit, I have friends who are doing something like this. This is fucking crazy incredible. Which leads me to my next fucking question. What the fuck? When the fuck is the fucking next fucking thing fucking coming?
The 7 fucks right there?
I don't fucking care. R&R. Just relax.
It's R&R, bro. It's coming. We're hopefully gonna do. Ideally, like this was. We're doing this last minute, obviously, because I contacted you and you just had an open spot type of thing,
Yeah.
right? But so ideally, we would have had something something new to play for you guys and whatever. Unfortunately, we don't. We're in the middle of. I'm trying to book some time to get in the studio, like as we speak.
Okay.
Type of deal. So I
The good
don't.
thing about a podcast, though, is someone could hear us 2 years from now. And by that point, hopefully it's come out, right? And then
Yeah, you think we're all going to be around in 2 years at this
It
rate?
better have come out by 2 years from now. I don't think I can wait that long.
Yeah, this is our Chinese democracy.
I think I could have waited longer for that record to come out.
Oh, it would have been fine if it had never come out, I think. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be an EP or I really wanted to make a full length. That's like been essentially my dream since I've been playing music, is to make like an LP, like a full, I think 10 songs is perfect record, but I don't think that unfortunately that's going to happen at this point. So I think that what we might do going forward is record sort of like singles type of thing.
just like online release sort of deal? Or
Yeah.
physical?
Physical release is so fucking expensive, and
It's so awesome, though.
it is. I know, but it's like even like printing CDs.
Oh, yeah. No,
is
it
kind of
can
like-
be prohibitive for a lot of bands, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, printing CDs themselves are kind of like, CDs are slightly dated piece of technology. So you want to do vinyl because there's still sort of like a market for vinyl.
And the price is way up. for
Exactly,
vinyl,
and then vinyl's even more expensive. So I think like online distribution, I think, is the way to go. You don't have that physical copy, which is, a real, that's unfortunate. Because I grew up like collecting, CDs.
Still do.
Yeah,
Right,
reading liner notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You know, and I had I got to the point where I had and I would love to sit down and sleepless nights. I'd be alphabetizing and organizing by band, which band was my favorite, and then chronologically their albums that I had. And
I still
whatever
do
it was.
that.
Yeah.
I never stopped doing that.
I have to be honest, I haven't done it in years now since music became, but also I'm such a monster in terms of consuming music and listening to it and whatever, having it all so available online all the time has gotten to the point where just the way I consume music is I don't put on a CD and listen to it, I just find it on whatever the streaming service that I've been on.
I think that's pretty common, though. I think probably most people, that's sort of what they do.
That's
right?
what they do.
I haven't got into that yet. I'm resisting as hard as I can.
Keep up the good
Trying to be
fight,
a
man.
Luddite. Well, not
Yeah.
trying to be. I am a Luddite, but it's still listening to tapes and CDs and records. And
We're doing this into an old rusty reel to reel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's funny they say that every
Luddite
time
with
too.
an iPhone.
Wait. Who has a podcast? Put things online. That's the thing. It's like a weird. I refuse to do it for music, but everything else, I don't
I
care.
say there's no such thing as halfway crooks, but sure is shit.
Yeah.
There's halfway things as
Apparently, yeah.
things as halfway Luddites.
What's that from? Is that from Shook Ones?
No such thing as halfway crooks.
What's that from
Yeah,
originally?
totally. It's in Shook Ones, yeah.
Yeah. But is that the origin song where that was first said?
I don't know. I thought it was the Woo.
No, it's in.
It's
I think it's in Shook Ones.
who does Shook Ones? It's fucking
Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
I disagreed. See?
Mobb Deep.
All
As
right.
argumentative as you make me seem.
Can somebody
Are not-
explain? You're a hip hop guy. What happened to Meek Mill?
I have no idea.
Okay, so I don't know who Meek Mill is,
Great.
but
But you're gonna talk all about it.
It sounds like he's got an answer.
That said, okay, so Meek Mill was in some sort of beef with somebody. I know that much.
He was in a beef with Drake.
Oh, who's giving that much time to fucking Drake? Anyway, and he, I don't know, he was incarcerated at some point and released on whatever you get released on, and then he
Bail, maybe?
anal.
Bail?
Released on
Bail?
anal. No, like
certainly
he went to
didn't say
jail
anal.
and then he got out, and then he breached his probation.
Right.
I don't know what he did, but he breached his probation. Now he's back in the slammer, as the kids call it.
Is
for
that
like-
what
I'm
the kids
sorry.
call it?
yeah,
Slammer?
for like the slammer,
What
the
is
big
that?
house, the pen.
The big house. Oh,
Got it.
Yeah, the big like Pee-wee's.
He's talking about a daycare center, right?
Essentially, but one that you don't want to probably stay at.
No, probably not. Yeah.
Very long.
So
and
he's
now
in.
back
So he's in
there.
jail for breaking probation.
Yeah, now he's back in there for like 4 years or something, which has always seemed crazy to me because you have a chance to not go to jail, and then you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this thing that'll get me back in jail, and then you go to jail.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of
Crazy.
things on social media saying like justice for Meek Mill and these kinds of things. I think the idea is that he is a non-violent offender who violated his parole, and he's in
Parole, that's the word.
And
Yes,
Uh,
bro.
have we been saying probation?
We have been saying probation. Yeah.
And florid.
Florid probation.
Florida probation is. Oh,
There's your
man,
album
there
title right
go.
You know
Yeah.
what? Florid probation.
Man, why couldn't we think of that when we were trying to think of a band name? And then finally it was like Gold Mountain. Okay, does anybody have anything better? And then it's
Yeah.
no,
Gold Mountain's
okay,
good though. Gold Mountain's
I
good.
guess.
It's-
I would have went with mold goutin.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like a moldy mountain of gout.
Cold fountain.
that's why you're not in the band.
Yeah, well, I think there's many reasons, but we'll go with that one to be the top of the list.
No, I actually like the story behind the band name.
Did we?
Actually.
What is the story behind the band?
Which-
name?
Yeah.
I don't
That's a
remember.
perfect segue.
I don't remember if we talked about it last time.
Talking
And even
about
if we
regular
did,
things.
please tell us the story of the band name.
Well, it's Chris's
Oh,
story.
okay, it's
not
Chris's
mine.
story. Okay.
Earthquake pedals.
Are mountains related to earthquakes in any way, or is that's?
Oh, they
Well,
were.
they're related
tectonic,
to fault lines, I
right,
think.
right, yeah.
Mountains were formed by God's
Smash,
earthquake.
yeah.
Yeah. You just
Smash,
put it down
smashing.
there.
Yeah.
And
Kisses.
that's where the name comes from.
It was all
Okay.
religious.
It's a term used by Asian immigrants when they came over during the gold rush and whatever,
Okay.
and they would come over to the Rocky Mountains in British Columbia at the time, and then in the Rocky Mountains out in California and whatever, and they were panning for gold, and they were sort of searching for
Oh, okay.
wealth and prosperity in new lands, trying to escape the conditions of their former lives and their birth
They
countries.
kind of got fucked over in that one, hey?
It didn't work out well for
No.
everybody.
No, probably not, no.
For sure. But it's sort of it's sort of a symbol of sort of like hope and idealism
Okay.
and that kind of thing, and hopefully prosperity, whatever. But I don't think I read on the Wikipedia page or whatever. That's Australia is now known as New Gold Mountain, and those areas are now Old Gold Mountain. And that kind of
Oh.
thing. So this is also if you go to your local like Five and Dime, whatever, and to pick up drug and sundries.
What year is this?
If you go to like grocery stores and you go to like the sections with like like soy sauce and rice and whatever, there's tons of like brands that are called like Gold Mountain
Right, yeah,
rice and
totally,
Gold
okay,
Mountain
yeah, yeah.
seasoning and that kind of thing.
The
whatever.
section that until like a few months ago was called the Oriental section.
Was the they
Superstore had Oriental sections for a long time. Yeah,
really?
yeah.
It's so funny because there's no such thing as the Orient anymore.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So Oriental.
Well, they have the Persian food section, don't they?
Do they?
What's
No.
Superstore? I was
No,
like,
clearly they don't have a Persian food section because Persia hasn't existed in years.
I should hope not.
Yeah, nor has the Orient, so it
Yeah.
makes sense that they've changed it.
It's good progress.
It is, yeah.
Although I will say this for Superstore, they have a hell of a good Asian food section.
That's what used to be called the Oriental food
Yeah,
section
it's-
until they
it's-
did the rebrand.
It's far better than what we got Safeway. Yeah, it's way better than
Safeway
Safeway.
has like a couple of
a third of an aisle.
microwave
Yeah.
curries or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
Do you have any microwave curry?
No.
Microwave curry is pretty good, actually. I mean, real curry is better, but
I have
you need a pinch.
I have two
not-
types
not
of Thai
real
green
curry.
curry in my fridge, and it will last me for the next 68 years of my life, provided I make it that far.
It's a very specific number.
Thai green curry, the finest curry.
It is good.
Brandless, just assuring you that the Thais make the best green curry.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I should just get you to record any promos we do on the show here. Just do
Do
it
it,
now.
man.
And they'll just clip them out and
I'm
pretend all these companies are sponsors.
I'm all
Yeah.
about getting that money.
Yeah.
Let me know what you need.
Well, there's no money involved.
Baby, I had a dream last night. I had the president's suite in a high-rise hotel. Ordered some room service up. Asked for the finest things that they could fit on a plate. Then some light came peeking through the shades. I heard the sound of alarms and I was suddenly awake. I turned the TV on, watched the kings and the queens riding high on parade. Baby, I had a dream last night. I was diving for pearls in the South Pacific. A man ran me down, locked me up for some crimes I had not committed. But tonight I will make my escape, dig under the fences and run for the hills. 'Cause I won't ever be free, long as I'm under that lock and key where I sleep every night. "20 miles from the border by dawn, I'm well on my way to shaking those goons off my hide. Baby, I had a dream last night where I said I won't be held inside by you anymore. And I'm not gonna hide from you anymore. And I'm not doing time for you anymore. For you anymore. For you anymore. Sarah, don't be afraid to go home. Daddy drinks hard and he bruises your face. So put your back to the bedroom door. Don't let him see those tears. Sarah, brush them away. But tonight you will make your escape. Get on a Greyhound, get out of this town. 'Cause you won't ever be free, baby, long as you're under his lock and key where you sleep every night. With any luck, when Daddy wakes up, he won't have nobody else but himself left to fight. Sarah, she had a dream last night where she said, I will not be defied by you anymore. And I'm not gonna lie for you anymore. And I'm not gonna cry for you anymore. For you anymore. For you anymore. Baby, I had a dream last night. I was diving for pearls in the South Pacific. The man ran me down, locked me up for some crimes I had not committed. Well, battle born, fought and hard won, cars back on the tide. Yeah, I had a dream last night where I said I won't be held inside by you anymore. And I'm not gonna hide from you anymore. And I'm not doing time for you anymore. For you anymore. For you anymore.
After taking the hiatus and then coming back again with the new lineup, what was the response with the new lineup? Because all of a sudden, I remember hearing about it. I think I was following you guys on Facebook or something, and nothing for however long. And all of a sudden, Gold Mountain, there's a bunch of pictures of new people, and I was like, "What the hell? Ian's in this band? Like, what happened?" Like, so I mean, have you had a good response? I assume you've played a few shows now.
2.
A few, a couple.
Yeah.
But I mean, have you kind of held on to people who were fans of the band?
Yeah,
Before,
we have people who are good friends of ours and loyal sort of. I mean, it's a small group to be sure.
Right.
But you know.
And it's mostly moms.
Yeah, we have. I don't know.
Yeah.
This
Mom
is
looks just like your mom. Like, it's insane. I looked at her, I was like, oh shit, that's Tab's mom. It was bang on.
yeah.
Did you just say your mom looks just like your mom?
Yeah, like you look at her and you're like, oh, that's Tab's mom. Like nobody said, I didn't know that was Tab's mom.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
looked at her and said, that's fucking Tab's
Well,
mom.
usually you can do that, though. Usually you can figure out if someone's
If you
mom
looked
is.
at my mom, you would not think she was my mom. Maybe you would. How would I know?
Well, let's call her up.
Yeah. You know what? Where's my mobile? What are you doing?
Let's FaceTime Ryan's mom right now.
FaceTime?
It's a phone thing.
Ah, yes. Call.
It's a smartphone
We say
thing.
call.
Oh, okay.
Yes, let's call Ryan's mom.
Okay,
Yes.
with FaceTime. Do you have a smartphone?
I have a phone, but it's not really connected to anything. So if I'm in Wi-Fi, I can use it to message people
Oh,
through Facebook.
there's no. Got it.
Yeah, they want you to pay your bill like every month. It's crazy. Out there.
You can kind of go a couple of months without.
Yeah, well,
If you call them and you sort of like tell the sob story, something like that. My grandfather died.
my mom was FaceTiming me too much. I can't go to the library anymore.
Sure.
Not welcome in the library.
Does she work at the library?
No, but she wrote my chances.
FaceTime at the library? They do have Wi-Fi at the library.
They do. I stand outside the library sometimes.
Why don't you go in?
What's that?
Why don't you just go in the library?
Oh,
Go into libraries?
Yes.
I don't know. I owe them like $12.
There's no door fee to get in. You know?
No cover. No pun intended, but
bouncer
there's
in the
no
world?
cover at the
Yeah.
library.
What you doing back here, Ryan? Told you. Don't come back. I don't know. I assume that's...
Get out of my way, bunny. I'm trying to use free Wi-Fi.
Would the bouncer's name be Bunny?
I don't know. It's the name of the big guy in the Sabotage video in the Beastie Boys.
Yes,
song.
you're right. You're right. That's right. Yeah,
They call
yeah.
him Bunny.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
I like how this happens every time, though. It's like whenever Ryan's here, everyone doing one of these, it just devolves immediately. It makes it more entertaining to listen to, I hope. But like, you haven't been. I've done like 6 or 7 of these without him
And
recently.
they've probably been pretty
And
straightforward.
they've been very much
about
like straightforward interview, like, you know, kind of get the facts, you know.
Yeah.
And then this is talking about people's moms and pumpkins being naked or something, and then like
Topless.
No.
topless, sorry, topless.
They just don't have. They just
Right.
don't have shirts
Right.
on.
No sex organs.
No complaining here. It's just funny, but it's just.
All right. What was the? Well, okay.
There wasn't an actual...
No, there was a
question.
question about how has the reception been.
I'm almost certain there wasn't a question. Go on.
Earlier, there was a question about how has the reception been to the band now that it's kind of revived
Right.
the different lineup. Like, I mean, are people?
There was a question.
I know you said moms or.
Yeah, we
Really?
actually. This is probably not going to be out by then, but we're playing a show on Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be definitely.
And It'll what?
It won't be up by
Yeah,
then.
for sure.
Definitely be up by then.
Yeah.
I assure you.
It's going up later tonight.
Yeah.
This is live right now.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys.
Is that what this thing is? It
Yes, right.
connects to
Yeah,
the
the
satellite?
extra one is actually
It's on Galaxy Radio.
Yeah, that's right.
It's we have people. I think the term "your mom's favorite band" is something that people like to throw around. I think it's funny. We are your mom's favorite
Right.
band. So fuck all of y'all pretenders to the throne. We are your mom's favorite band. All of our moms have been to the shows at this point and whatever. I think that Lindsay's mom didn't ask or volunteer so much as she told us that she would be working the door.
Oh, wow.
At our show. To answer the question, though, it's been the people who were there before are still there,
Cool.
and it's like we.
That's what you want, right? You don't want to lose any of them.
It's like we never left, man, and hopefully we just keep getting better, and then those people still stick around. They like what we do, and then more people like what we do.
Cool.
Who knows?
Cool.
Just doing our best out here. God damn, man, come on.
So what is aside from moms, what is the audience for this? Because, I mean, like we've kind of discussed before, there's so many different things going on. It's not just one obvious genre. I mean, like, to use Bad Pants as an example, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys are fairly straight ahead punk rock band. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out who's going to be listening to that and what kind of crowds you're going to get, right? But this is something different. I mean, the mom crowd.
The look on Lindsay's face right now is super funny.
Yeah. I don't mean anything negative by it, but like for real, it's, you have a sound, right, that like appeals to a certain crowd. This is it's way more like in the ether. Like who's aside from moms, who's coming to the shows?
Everybody.
It's just
On Thursday, everybody that can fit in
everybody's coming.
Yeah.
The whole goddamn city.
Like 100 people can fit in that room.
I'd fucking love it. I mean, like, ideally, like, it would be everybody, I mean, it would be, I want, rock and roll is, like, supposed to be, like, well, all popular music is, like, music for, it's young people type of thing, right? So I want younger people to be into it. And then also, but I mean, I'm getting older, we're all getting older, type of thing, right? So, I mean, we can't just be like, playing to teenagers or whatever. So, I mean, hopefully that, aesthetic kind of grows and matures. And so there's like a more mature, set of ears out there and that kind of thing. Everybody. You will succumb to Gold Mountain. We're going to get you.
There's just going to be now while the Hypnotoad background plays.
Yeah. Everyone leaves the show with like a ton of merch and stuff. Yeah.
Is that the first time Hypnotoad has been mentioned?
I think it might be Hypno anything. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if there's been any Hypno references, but
I'm really glad that
I'm glad you did that. Yeah.
Got a big mouth, my ears are too big. I act like a fool when I had a few drinks. Ooh, I'm not the man for you. I can't dance, I'm not much of a talker. You mention a book and I don't know the author. Oh, maybe I'm not the man for you. It's just like watching spaceships crashing down on dusty hills. If I had a motorcycle, I'd give you 1,000 thrills. Oh, my darling, what can you do? Baby, I'm not the man for you. Got my tongue while I was out getting high. Never been a day from home in my life. Oh, I'm not the man for you. Well, I said something and you gave me a smile. That's well enough to make it worth my while. Oh, baby, I'm not the man for you. But if I was a cowboy, I would sing a campfire tune. And if I was a gambler, I'd lay down all my cash to get to you. That's what I'd do. But I'm not the man for you. between you and me, this tree must bear that bitter fruit. And just because you say it like that, well, that don't make it true. Oh, my darling, what can you do? Baby, I'm not the man for you. Maybe I'm not the man for you. Baby, I'm not the man for you.
Sam sent me a message at about 8:34 today. He's been picking me up and dropping me off roughly at least once a month for the past 4 or 5 months at my new place. He's been over twice, non-podcast related. He sent me a message at 8:34 saying, I don't know where you live. I'm on your street. So that's the level of memory we're dealing with here. I don't really think the Hypnotoad thing is going to come back to him after.
So when he goes back to edit this, be like, I
To be fair,
that
I was right in front of your house.
He was, yes. So I looked outside and I said, fuck, he's right outside. And then I had a good laugh.
You're gonna get random Hypnotoad texts from these guys.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, you can FaceTime the Hypnotoad.
Right.
Is that
Is that
right?
Yeah, FaceTime.
FaceTime.
No, I didn't invent FaceTime. It's a service that you can get. It's on your
It's an application.
device,
Yeah,
yes.
it's an application.
Yeah.
on your mobile device.
Yeah.
Okay, so aside from the show that's happening this week, this will be too late for. Do you have anything coming up in the near future? Like, are you guys planning to ramp up the amount of shows you're doing or things like that?
There is something, but I don't think we're allowed to say anything about it yet.
Ooh, very mysterious.
Top secret.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're not at liberty to do anything about it at this moment.
Lady Liberty.
What?
That's the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yes, no, yeah. I think we all understand that.
There you go.
I just got the no feeling hard.
I would just like to, for anybody who's obviously listening to this whenever and can't see it, after he made that comment, he triumphantly leaned back and crossed his legs. As if he'd just thrown something down on the table and said, I'm done with this conversation. Yeah, there's that. And then in terms of like, I think that we want to play regularly, but it's like, I know for me, I don't want to speak for anybody else. I think it's really important to pick and choose when and what kind of shows we play. Because in terms of like pounding the pavement and just playing anything, is I feel like I'm just I'm too tired and too busy for that kind of stuff and whatever. So when a Gold Mountain show comes up, we want it to be a great show. Yeah. We want to be playing with great bands. We want it to be a whole thing. We want everyone to have the best time possible and have it be sort of an event rather than just sort of like us sort of playing as often as we can. Which is nothing. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, I mean, we've all been in bands that have done that, and that's great. And I wouldn't trade those. She's trying to do dishes quietly, but it's even more conspicuous because you can hear it squeaking. But yeah, I think I've said anything about it. Yeah, just it'd be great if
Yeah, no, it's cool. I get it. It's funny you mentioned the quiet dishes because I did one where I was interviewing a guy and his girlfriend came home and he was telling her to be quiet, and so I guess she decided she's going to take a shower and therefore she would be interrupting. Right. But I guess the bathroom was right behind the wall where he was sitting. You just hear so it was just like full on shower blasting. She took like a really long shower too, so it lasted. We're sort of awkwardly having a conversation about this. Just blasting it. It didn't really interview though. It was still cool. But
yeah.
It was,
how are things going with you, man? Tell us all about your podcast.
Well, people who listen to this hopefully have heard it before, right? I mean,
yeah, but you do like on other people's podcasts. You do like fucking free CDs and shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There we go. Covered.
Bases. Covered. I do it. Yeah.
What are you listening to these days, Sam?
What am I listening to?
Yeah. We had a big long talk in the last one. We talked a lot about. That was the other thing too, man. Is I was so disappointed to hear that you don't do the theme word thing.
Well, you know what? There's a couple of reasons for that. And I mean, I think I've talked about it here before, so it's not like telling the secrets of the podcast or anything. But
the secrets are revealed tonight with Gold Mountain.
Yes, apparently, yeah. No, playing other people's music.
You ever watch those things where it's like that magician who would wear a mask
Yes!
and he would reveal?
It's
like,
on Netflix, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the name of that thing?
Magician's Secrets
Magic
Revealed or
Secrets
something.
Revealed,
Yeah.
Asshole gives away secrets.com or something.
Asshole gives away
That's the number one
Everybody
rule.
go on. Everybody go
Secrets.
online and search out
Asshole-
asshole
Do not
reveals
go online and search out
secrets.com.
asshole because you're going to come up with some very disturbing images.
Yeah.
You probably might want to see.
Sounds like you've done it.
Wow, I've probably typed asshole into a search engine of some sort
Okay.
in the past.
Okay, so the song selection thing, right? For people who don't want to look up assholes on the internet and don't know what we're talking about, in the
Does it
early...
have to be two different kinds of people? People who don't want to look at.
No, there could be like a Venn diagram, right? Like, anyway,
There's a lot of crossover.
yeah, right in the middle there. So, yeah. People who maybe aren't familiar with the early years of the podcast, we used to get the bands who came on the show and ourselves to pick songs based on a theme word.
Yeah.
And it made it more interesting. It would made it, if people weren't that talkative, we could start, sort of start a conversation by talking about music, talking about whatever band they chose for whatever reason. And that kind of dropped off because A, it's really sketchy as far as legal use of other people's songs, and B, a lot of people were choosing songs that definitely were...
We just didn't fucking want
It would be like fucking Rolling Stones or something, right? And I mean, nothing against the Stones. I'm not really a fan of them, but like, if I'm gonna get sued for something, it's gonna be the Stones. So, you know what I mean? Like,
with the fucking Stones.
so if people are
already.
playing some like DIY band from Edmonton or something, that was around '95.
Sure.
Odds on anyone having taken legal action. They're probably happy that someone's playing it still, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
someone's
yeah.
playing like a top 10 hit by the Stones, and this happened a few times in a row. It's like, well, this is like raising my profile of
Right.
radar's going up. So
Yeah.
it was much easier to just talk to the bands about their own music and then put that music right in the episode.
Okay.
Because it's again with the A/B thing. I have the permission because they're giving me the songs.
Sure.
And it also makes it more of a kind of a concise. We're talking about these guys. This is what they do. There you go. So it works better. I think it makes they're shorter instead of these like 2.5 hour long episodes. It's like pretty much a tight hour for the most part.
Okay.
And I think that makes it easier to consume as listeners. I think people seem to like it more. So
I completely understand the motivations behind it, whatever. But I was.
it was fun.
It was
It was
fun.
fun. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think we had a pretty eclectic selection of songs. I think we did.
A lot of Rolling Stones.
We didn't know
A little bit
Rolling
of Rolling
Stones.
Stones, and then 1/3 Rolling Stones song.
Oh man, the Stones. Am I right? Come on.
They're sort of litigious, right? So I don't, yeah.
We had Horse with No Name. We had.
What was your theme?
Buzz.
Buzz. Yeah,
Buzz,
yeah.
right.
Do we feel Love Buzz? I feel like we must.
You
I
played
Yeah,
you
if somebody
played
didn't play Love Buzz, I would probably walk off this podcast right now.
I picked.
That's not gonna happen.
I picked the song from Toy Story.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Is it Randy Newman?
Oh,
Randy Newman
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
God bless you, Randy Newman.
Yeah.
Now, Randy, if you're listening, which I know you is, because I send you emails every week. Thank you for your service to not only your country,
Did
but
he
ours.
serve in the military?
No,
I don't think he
I
did.
mean, as a writer.
Okay.
He's done both his country and ours a great service overall.
Yeah.
I had no
He
idea you
did
were
the
such a
theme
Randy
to
Newman.
Monk.
I mean, he's awesome.
Come
but
on.
I didn't know you were such a Randy Newman fan.
Oh, huge Randy Newman
The
fan.
theme song to
Wait,
Monk.
Who watches Monk? Like,
Fuck you.
It's like
really?
it's like what's
Tony
that?
Shalhoub
What's
is
that?
the motherfucking Mac Daddy.
It's like, have you ever seen? Do you ever like in Aziz Ansari do his stand up? Whatever he
Yes,
talks
I've
about.
seen
He's
it.
got a cousin who's super into the show Burn Notice, and he's like, who the fuck is into Burn Notice? You know,
I've
let alone a
never
teenage
heard
boy.
of
there's a lot of shows like that where you find out just like, what is this? And there's a massive following. Like,
Yeah.
Never seen Monk?
no, I've never seen
Well,
Monk.
then you fucking up.
Maybe I should see it.
Yeah, man, get on the
Okay,
internet.
the only thing I know about Monk, I've never seen it. I know it's about a guy who has like OCD, right?
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub.
And when they released,
Tony Shalhoub,
I know
thank you, Tony.
I know Tony Shalhoub is. When they released the box sets.
Yeah, Wings.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
When they released the box sets of Monk on DVD, though, right? Have you seen this? Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I've only,
Okay.
sorry,
This is
sorry,
ridiculous.
I streamed it.
This is ridiculous. Okay, the DVD is guy's face, Tony Shalhoub's face, the name Monk, and then season 1 at the bottom. Same thing, same layout, and then one of the second last or the box set, it's the other way around. So people with OCD are gonna be looking at this, and the face is in the opposite spot.
That's not cool
They're
at all.
all the
Wait,
same.
But are you saying that they did that intentionally?
Yes.
Or they
They
did
did
that
intentionally, yes.
That's,
yeah.
But
just
is
to
it-
fuck with people.
Is that just is that just your conspiracy?
No, the
theory?
makers of the show.
Sorry, I didn't know this was InfoWars with Alex Jones.
No, I read about this. I not knowing anything about the show, other than it's about a guy with
The liberals on their own, they're
Yeah.
trying to like, they switched up the Monk DVD covers. Hillary, it's crooked Hillary.
We need someone ripping their shirt off and screaming.
I would just like to point out, Alex Jones is a millionaire telling you to not trust rich people.
Oh, fuck
that
Alex
man
Jones.
is a fucking laughable joke, but at the same time,
Terrifying.
his listeners are so terrifyingly into him that his hate mongering can actually go somewhere. That man, that terrifies me. And Justin, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but stop listening to that man's fucking rants because it's driven you mad yourself.
Is this Justin? Or
Justin.
the...
Yeah, it's a guy I know.
Really,
Justin.
Have you not seen his social media ever?
No, I actually have. I have new accounts.
But
Alex
Jones Infowars thing was one of the most terrifying things you would ever discover. I was like, this is a man who's got a platform that has people listening to him.
I think that if you're willing to tap into something that's already there and have no moral qualms about what you're saying and the negative consequences of what you're saying, you can make a buck fucking doing anything.
Oh, absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Like somebody like, for instance, I think that somebody like I want to say like not Bill O'Reilly. What's the other guy? Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's somebody who strikes me as somebody who doesn't fully. This is just my own personal impression that I get. He strikes me as somebody who's smarter somewhat than the things that he's saying, or at least not as doesn't have the strength of his convictions. But he's somebody who knows that if he taps into these feelings that people have about paranoia, about mistrust of certain government and that kind of thing, taps into certain fears people have, taps into the fact all these kinds of different things, that he can just garner ratings and he can make money off of it, type of thing, right? And I think a lot of those people, and somebody like Alex Jones in particular, there's no way that guy believes some of the shit that he says.
No, but he knows he'll get people.
No, I doubt that he
t-shirts
believes in the
and
water purifying systems that he tries to sell you. Right. But I suspect strongly that he's getting paid to tell you to buy them.
Of course he is.
So I suspect that he's also getting ratings and ergo money by telling you to fear or hate certain things as well.
Yeah, and it's very easy. It's the easiest thing in the world is to play into people's fears and insecurities and that kind of thing, right? Because once you sort of feed into it and tell them, you're right. This is why things are not going well for you in your life and whatever. These fears and these paranoias that you have are real, and this is why you can't get ahead. This is why you don't live in a mansion on the hill. This is why this is why that, and that type of thing.
Well, yeah, it's a lead in the water.
Exactly, right. So, I mean, yeah.
I used to have a nice house on the hill, but the lead in the paint,
the
way down. It slid all the way down. Yeah.
Slid off. Now it's a house in a ditch.
Yeah.
This show's taking a weird turn.
I didn't know he sold water purification.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh
really?
Man, his ad spots are really wacky and really out there. I've heard him not on because he does ad spots where it's clearly an ad spot, but I've also heard him go on a rant about every other type of gum except for this gum, because that gum is poison and this one is good for your kids.
Yeah.
In the midst of one of his rants about, I don't know, liberals looking at him at the gas station or something.
Reptile people.
Yeah, lizard people are my favorite. I love
lizard people.
Yeah. I love those. I went on a YouTube rabbit hole a while ago of videos proving that Obama was a lizard person.
Oh,
yeah.
And they have all these pause freeze
frames. Wait, they proved it? Oh, YouTube has proved it. Good Lord. My God. People, if you're listening to this, immediately go to YouTube.
Turns out Osama bin Laden was a reptile.
They're all reptiles.
Everyone, it's all the same bloodlines. They're all reptiles. Anyway, now we're getting onto a tangent that I will not stop if we don't switch the subject.
Okay, so if people are hearing this for the first time and have made it to this point and haven't been confused and turned it off, and they want to hear more of Gold Mountain, what is the best thing for them to do aside from going to a show? Where should they?
The record is the EP is up online anywhere. Type it in Gold Mountain Bandcamp or whatever. Okay. I have a solo. We play a few. We talked about this. Whatever. I have a few solo songs for my solo days that we play in the thing. Whatever. So you can go and look at Chris Rendina Bandcamp. Whatever. There's a few more songs there that we do, and hopefully we'll be having. We'll be coming. I mean, I really wanted to have a single ready for Christmas time, but it looks like it's not going to be the case.
Soon, yeah.
In the new year, early in the new year, definitely.
Okay.
We're gonna have something new for you to listen to. And then some announcements coming up that we can't quite talk about just yet. But.
Okay, so the Bandcamp is the best place to get the music. Is what, Facebook or something the best place to find out more info, or?
Yeah, we're pretty active with our plugging our appearances and this and whatever with Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I'm just starting to try and figure out how Twitter goes.
Oh boy.
It's a little bit. I like it too.
Interesting journey for all of us.
I've been reading Twitter for years, and it's sort of it's like when kids
Harry
are
Maselli.
kids are playing the jump rope game or whatever, and you're the kid on the outside trying to like get in there and whatever. So that's the way I feel about Twitter. I hope you like that metaphor.
I think my favorite thing that happened on Twitter related to this podcast is I was randomly, again, reading, just like you're saying, reading a bunch of shit on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I saw that Canadian, 80s, 90s popular rock band 5440 was doing some kind of acoustic show or something, right? And they were putting acoustic albums as their hits. So I was like, I wonder if I could talk to the guy from 5440 on my podcast.
Sure.
So I sent him a message, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll call you. And then so I had a local band at John's house, where we recorded the last one.
Yeah.
And partway through the show, we stopped to have a conversation with Neil Osborne, the lead singer of 5440.
Did you FaceTime him?
No, it was just on the phone with the phone.
Oh,
but
see?
like, but
It's called on the phone.
But how ridiculous is that?
We don't have. I'll explain to you after we're done.
But that's what I like about Twitter is that you can some random person like why am I talking? Like it was a cool conversation.
When I lived in Vancouver in my teenage years. And this was like around the time when 5440 was still, in the conversation. You know, they were around. What was their Hootie and the Blowfish covered?
They
one
covered,
of their songs,
they
on
covered
the Friends,
the
Friends soundtrack. Yeah. Back when like Friends was like fucking like
that was
everywhere,
right?
I Go Blind,
Yeah. Good God, Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I actually asked Neil Osborne about that.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, how did this happen?
What did he say?
I can't remember. It's like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Okay.
You can look it up. Go to the episode.
Oh, shit. How about you guys at home? Go on the episode list on the website.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Look up Neil Osborne.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time.
What's your story, though?
Is
it just that you were in Vancouver at the time?
Okay, this story is going to be so anticlimactic.
Okay.
I was shopping with my brothers and my mother. We were at a shoe store.
Okay.
And we were leaving the shoe store. And as I turned the corner...
I already love where this is going.
And as I turned the corner... What's his name?
Neil Osborne?
Neil Osborne and his mother were rounding the corner. And as he passed by, I went like this. You're not going to be able to see this, but I was like... just like that, I just sort of like wide-eyed kind of pointed at him, and he sort of like walked by and sort of was like, "Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
It's me. I'm in the 44.
Yeah.
It's my fucking shoe shopping. Beat it, kid."
Do you think his mother was still buying her shoes, or was he buying?
You'd hope he would get enough royalties.
She was in front of him. He was sort of. I remember thinking it was funny because he was sort of in the same boat that I was, where I was like kind of being dragged around by my mom on errands. Right. He was sort of like hands in his pockets, kind of like.
But he's like a Canadian celebrity at the time, right? I mean, especially then he would have been.
He was like. I mean, I was, mid to late teenager or something like that, and he was all over fucking.
He was like 35.
Much music or whatever it is type of thing. They were a big band back in the day, as far as Canada goes.
Yeah. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go home and listen to 5440.
I saw them live at Casino a few years ago. It was great.
There's nothing wrong with 5440.
Not too bad.
Yeah. One's a song that I really like, and I can't remember the name of it right now for some reason. Ocean Pearl is good.
Good riff.
Yeah. That bass line.
Yeah, really
super
good.
catchy.
Yeah, totally.
When you work at a music store, you hear like just the bass lines.
A lot of Ocean Pearl.
Yeah, the very recognizable songs.
Well, it's CanCon, right? So they got to throw that in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
30% of the songs that you play on these guitars have to be CanCon. And if they're not, I'm coming for you.
In the 90s, in Canada, it was like they were sort of it was like 5440 and the Tragically Hip were like our Beatles and Stones.
Totally.
Right? Like, which side were you on? It was like U2 and REM,
Yeah.
kind of thing, Yeah. And I remember like U5440 was always kind of the underdog, and
I was just moist.
Man, I love it.
You're like, who is moist in this equation? Is that like, are they like the Who?
I've always been.
Let's give it moist a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be totally honest. We're giving the Hip and 5440 a lot of credit by
Yes,
playing
we are. I realize this is going on way too long, and we're talking about something that's totally irrelevant right now. But I want to just say that I always respected Moist, and I've always especially the first record.
Just say Moist again, Sam. I've never heard you
I'd
say
like
the
to
word
apologize to Moist.
Is this the point? Is this the point on the podcast where Sam just will not stop talking about how much he fucking loves Moist?
Maybe. But
did you have the guy's solo albums?
I didn't know.
David
Usher.
David Usher.
You knew it was fucking David
I knew
Usher?
his name.
What? I don't know.
I knew it was David Usher.
I knew it was David. So I was gonna say like David
even
Steinberg.
David Usher had a radio hit in the mid 2000s. I want to say 05,
Yeah,
06,
totally,
counting.
yeah.
It was like counting the
Really?
cars.
What?
Yeah. But
No,
what I'm saying was
counting
What do I want to say about Moist?
No,
The reason Moist was good.
Oh my god, again with the moist.
The reason Moist. The reason I liked Moist, especially the first album, is because they had a keyboard player, and no bands at the time had a keyboard player, and the piano was super heavy on their stuff.
It's true.
And you listen back to it now, and it's like, oh shit, this is different. It's it's at least there's something about it that, and it's the keyboard. It's that they had like very prominent like piano, and it's cool.
Are you saying that we're the moist of the Winnipeg music scene?
I think you should call yourselves that.
You see, what I liked about Moist is that they weren't the Tea Party.
Yes.
Yes.
They were trying to be the Doors.
Did you know the Tea Party
Fucking
is
Doors.
not actually a Canadian band?
What?
How are they not?
I think. I mean, please, dear listeners, go and look this up. Prove me wrong, but I think they were a band.
Prove me wrong, kids.
yeah. I think they were a band. Yeah.
Turn it up.
Yeah. I think that they were a band who was from like a state like Minnesota or something.
Somewhere
And then
close
came
to-
here?
And they sort of they broke on local
okay.
Canadian radio, and sort of we
I
adopted
thought they were
them.
from Toronto.
I did too.
But you know what?
Could
when
be.
I go home, I'll FaceTime it, and I'll figure it all out.
Not. All right, man.
All right. Okay. So if anyone wants to hear more Gold Mountain, go to those places you mentioned, Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's online. Go online. It's everywhere.
And search for Gold Mountain. You get like the food from the Oriental Isle.
Rice Isle, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
and you get your music. If you want to hear more episodes of Witchpolice,
You got your music. You got your seasonings.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need those.
You got your
Five
rice.
Spice.
Those are
Five
important.
Spice.
Who knows? What the fuck?
Okay, hear more episodes of this show. Go to witchpolice.com. There's all 260 some episodes.
But let me ask
there.
you this, Sam.
Yes.
Oh, we're not done.
I can't finish my outro. Just let me fucking plug me through.
Wait, how much more did you have?
I had a little bit. Keep going. What are you saying? Go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
Now it's been ruined.
Yeah, that's been ruined. Okay, witchpolice.com. It's all there. Free download and streaming, including the last episode you guys were on.
Mm-hmm.
You can also hear us on...
Which you helpfully titled "Total Losers" and put a
Did I?
picture, put a
Did I do
picture of
that?
me like cross-eyed or
Yes,
something like
I remember that.
I took my Stingray into Cincinnati. I still felt I was 20 miles behind. Well, then I took that train through Baltimore. I never was the same on the other side. Oh, baby, you cannot get your leg over your head without a rubber state of mind. What's done is done, and it don't get worse. They said join this flying army, come dance around that singing telephone, join the carnival of souls. But Atlanta, I'm coming home. Atlanta, I'm coming home. Oh baby, you make me freeze up, make me nervous till I throw my cares away. Tell me, what do I have to say to see you drive away in one of these cars here today? Well, I got nothing but forever, and you must know that I'm willing to wait. What's done is done, and it don't get worse. Well, they said, come and join the family, and we'll all be happy somewhere down the road. Well, it don't matter where it goes, but Atlanta, I'm coming home. Oh, Atlanta, I'm coming home. I'm just so afraid